Okay, let's go ahead and actually show a live bug bounty hunt for an iOS application. So we can put all the pieces that we've learned from these videos together into one example. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go to the App Store here, and I do have Burp Suite turned off, so make sure that you have Burp Suite turned off if you were intercepting traffic using your iPhone. And in this case, let's just go down and find some random app. Let's actually do the Nike app. It sounds interesting. And then, so I'm just going to click install here. Going to put in my information to download the application. And let's wait for this to install. Okay, so now we see that the Nike application is installed. Now we need to pull this off the phone by using AnyTrans. So I'm just going to open up AnyTrans here on my MacBook. And I'm going to go down here to the App Store. Type in Nike here. And click download. Sign in with my Apple ID. Click download one more time. Should be adding this to our application library and downloading successfully. Okay, so you can see the download is completed. I'm going to click download to Mac up here in the top right. And I'm just going to save this into my documents here. So I copied Nike over. I'm going to click View Files now to open the File Explorer. And now we can see this is the Nike.ipa. Okay, so now what we need to do to start the static analysis process, you can either take this IPA and put it through MobSF, or you can do the static analysis process manually. In my case, I'll do it manually just for the demonstration here. I'm going to click here and just make a duplicate of this file so we have a copy to work with. Okay, so we have our Nike copy.ipa. So now I'm going to rename this file to payload.zip. And I'm going to click use zip. Okay, and then I'm going to open up this file. It's going to start expanding the application. And then we'll be able to actually look at the file contents and do a static analysis manually. I'm going to just expand that folder. Let me see if I can make this any bigger. Okay, so we have our payload folder here. I'm going to click into it. Again, we will want to take a moment and check the iTunes metadata.plist here. This will open the file in Xcode. Here's our iTunes metadata.plist. Oops. Give me 1 second to drag that file over here. Here's our iTunes metadata.plist. You can see it's got the Apple ID assigned to me. Artist name, Nike, version number 2.185. Some just general information here. The name of the application installed on my phone is com.nike.omega. So that's kind of interesting that it has .omega at the end. We can go to the meta-inf here and we can look at like the metadata plist if we want to. I'm going to go to the payload folder here. We have the Nike Plus.app. I'm going to click this and just click show package contents, and this will actually open up the application itself. Let me blow up this window. So here is all of the things contained by the application. Of course, we want to go down and look through the info.plist here. wherever the file is. Oh, here it is, info.plist. Let me drag this over to the other window. So this is our info.plist for this application. We would want to take a few moments and actually look through this file, of course, for anything that might be interesting, such as any URLs, API keys, anything in here. You can see some URL types here. This might be interesting to us. Some URL schemes here, like MyNike, possibly like mynike.com or anything like that that you might sign into to get access to your account. You can look through this entire file and see anything that might be hard-coded in here in terms of API keys, IDs, URLs, anything like that. Okay. Also want to look at this ADB mobile config.json. I've seen these kind of files in multiple different applications. It's quite an interesting file and can sometimes have some very interesting things in here. So we can see that we have a marketing cloud org. This is like where they have Adobe Cloud monitoring for the application. Some things like assets related to Adobe, so you know that you're using something with Adobe for this application. Going back to our file structure here, close some of these windows. Obviously you want to take more time than this to actually look through these files and everything like that. So you can see there's like a Bravo config.json, alpha config.json. You would want to look through all of these .json files here. This might be data that is used by the application for the UI, or could also contain things like URLs that might be reaching out to. You have omega configurations.plist here, some different plist files. You want to look through all of these, obviously. The on-demand resources.plist, the JSON files here, and these additional plists as well to look for anything that might be hard-coded into the application. You also want to look through some of the other files here, so you can see like info plist.strings. Who knows what's in here? Let's just take a look. Looks like there's some kind of strings in here. This might be useful, might not be. So basically you'd want to look through every single one of these JSON files, try to find things like URLs, hard-coded strings, hard-coded API keys, the Firebase databases, etc. Pretty similar to what we did with Android as well. Go to the SC info here. You can always look through the manifest.plist as well. This can sometimes have interesting things in it, like I talked about before. Looks like some replication paths for frameworks and things like that. So you just want to go through everything all at once. Maybe you look through some of these files for strings, etc. You can also take the IPA and put it through MobSF as well, which might also help to point you towards certain things. So now how would we actually do the dynamic analysis part of this process? Well, let me hop over to the iPhone now and just show you how we would set up everything to utilize like SSL kill chain for an application like this. First of all, I just want to see if the application is going to run. And click Nike here. Looks like everything works properly. So now you could potentially make yourself a few accounts. So like you could sign in here. Looks like it brings up accounts.nike.com. So we can already see that, for example, this accounts.nike.com, it's a new target for us in terms of where we'd sign in for the application. You can also click the Join Us link here. You can see that we're now going to accounts.nike.com and signing up with an email. So at this point, I would be making a few different accounts to be able to test with. I would make like one account to see if I'll be able to get access to another account and use a couple burner emails for that kind of a thing. So I'd have two different accounts to be able to attack myself and see if I can get access to either one of those accounts' informations from the other account. So it looks like this application works just fine on a jailbroken phone. Next, we would want to jailbreak the phone again. so that we can actually intercept the traffic with Burp Suite. So let's do that now. It's going to open up CheckRain here and just jailbreak my phone again, because every time you do this, when you restart the phone and everything, you're going to have to jailbreak it again. So I'm going to just do this really quickly to get my jailbreak up and running. Again, it's going to enter recovery mode here. It's going to say the device is in recovery mode. I'm going to click start here, hold down the buttons, release the power button, keep on holding down the side button. It's going to start booting up again. Okay, now it's actually booting into the jailbreak here. And in just a second, the iPhone will populate back up under the screen once I get logged in and everything works successfully. So I'm booting up now into my jailbreak. Okay. The phone should be appearing back on the screen here. Okay, there it is. So now my phone is re-jailbroken. So now I want to set up Burp Suite to intercept the traffic. Again, I'm going to use Burp Suite Community Edition. I'm opening this up in my other window. Taking just a moment to load Burp Suite up. In the meantime, I'm also going to go to my phone's proxy settings here, go to Wi-Fi, go down to configure proxy, click manual. I'm going to have to put my IP address in there in just a second. Also opening Burp Suite up in the meantime. So again, I'm going to do an if config to get my IP address and fill those details in here in my phone. And it looks like our IP is 192.168. And the port again is going to be 8082. I don't have Burp Suite quite set up, but in a minute it will be set up. Let me drag Burp Suite over here so you can actually see the setup. Okay, so here's Burp Suite all started up. And again, I have to go to the proxy tab, go to options, and add a new interface here for 8082. The certificate and everything is already going to be trusted because we had this running previously. Oops, I need to select all interfaces here. Click OK and yes. Then we're going to go to our proxy tab here. And alright, so now I'm going to open the Nike app. I'll click like join us here. See if we can actually intercept some of this traffic. Looks like it's not because I think I need to set up SSL kill chain again. Go down here to my settings. Yep, go to SSL kill switch and just toggle this on and off. I might have put in the wrong IP address here. We double check my proxy settings. Yep, I have a 9, need a 9 at the end here. There we go. Now I should start getting some traffic into Burp Suite. Yep, so here now we can see api.nike.com. So we're intercepting the traffic of this application successfully. Just forward some of this along. Again, if we wanted to filter out some of this traffic, we would go to the target tab, go to scope here, and we can start adding things into the scope. So like, for example, this api.nike.com, this would be one that we want to add to our scope here. You can also see that now the phone is saying it cannot open the page because the server is not responding. That's because I did not forward along all this traffic. So let me just turn my intercept off. Click join us again, click continue, and it should load up just fine. And we should have these things captured here in our proxy settings as well. If I have my intercept on, click join us, we should see this Nike stuff come. Yeah, like accounts.nike.com. This stuff is all being populated as part of that website. I'm going to forward some of this along. Yeah, so you have all this accounts.nike.com stuff. This could be something that you want to try to manipulate some of these parameters, etc. You'd want to go through and you want to set up an account. Maybe you want to go ahead and test this stuff, right? Like the email and the password. So you could try some payloads like SQL injection payloads, or you could also like manipulate it in ways that maybe it's not intended to be. You could also try to like change the regions here. Maybe you want to like intercept this call here for the region and change that. See if this will let me do that. Whatever data you'd be collecting out of these accounts. And also you could obviously expand your scope to the actual accounts.nike.com website. And once you actually create an account, like say you do join us here, turn my intercept off for a second, you'd sign up with your email address. Maybe it's one account, and then you see how that authentication token is actually pushed back to the application here, and then you can see what you get access to once you're authenticated. You can test the authentication tokens, you can test the different parts of the application that right now I do not have access to. So at this point I would sign up for 2 different accounts, and I would do some testing to see if I can get access to the other account or anything like that. Test the different parts of the application, whatever becomes available after I sign up. So that's all I have for the live bug bounty hunt. I know we didn't go through like everything and sign up for an account and everything like that, but I wanted you to see the whole process from the beginning so we can see how we pull the application off the App Store, how we get the application set up with Burp Suite and everything like that. Let's go ahead and download one more application to finish off the bug bounty section.